The morning of July 20th, 1974 brought everything to a halt. Ayşe is going on holiday was the code word for the commencement of the crime. Ayşe did not go on holiday. Turkey realized what she'd been planning for years. The invasion brought destruction with it. Cyprus was brutally split in two. The Greek Cypriots fled to seek shelter in more secure areas and have not been allowed to return to their homes ever since. A few days later, the government of the Republic of Cyprus was forced to transfer the Turkish Cypriots to the occupied areas. Turkey was implementing its partitionist plans in the most brutal way. 1,000 Turkish Cypriots lived interspersed with 500,000 Greek Cypriots all over the island. Turkey's prime concern immediately after the invasion was to bring in settlers with the aim of altering the demographic character of the island, and this was achieved through a policy of ethnic cleansing. Today, more than 160,000 settlers from Turkey are living in the occupied areas. If 43,000 Turkish troops are added to this number, it becomes obvious that the approximately 87,000 Turkish Cypriots living in the occupied areas are only a minority. Interminable talks, plans, initiatives, all without result. A solution has not been achieved. On the contrary, Turkey, through her intransigent stance, is attempting to establish the status quo brought about by the invasion by seeking the permanent division of the island. In November 1983, the so-called Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus was unilaterally and illegally declared. With the exception of Turkey herself, no country has since recognized this entity. On the contrary, the United Nations have repeatedly and through a number of resolutions condemned the declaration. The declaration has also been deemed illegal by all European Union bodies and the international community as a whole. A huge flag, symbol of the illegal statelet in the occupied part of Cyprus, is carved out on the slopes of the once verdant Pentadaktylos mountain range. It's lit up every night in provocation to the legitimate residents of the northern part of Cyprus, reminding them that Turkey, after so many years, continues to trample upon their land and their rights. One evening a few months ago, the flag suddenly went out. In fact, not just the flag, but all the lights in the occupied areas were extinguished. There was a serious problem with the power plants in the occupied areas, where the possibility arose of a very protracted blackout. The Cyprus government dealt with the situation in a humanitarian manner, overlooking the illegal status of the occupation regime. It supplied electricity to the occupied areas, and a general blackout was avoided. If Cyprus's economy were unified, the Turkish Cypriot community would definitely not be facing the economic problems it's facing today, and which its leadership ascribes to what it calls its international isolation. The true reasons behind the downgraded economy of the occupied areas should be sought from the occupation regime itself and Turkey's own policy. The fact is recognized even by the Turkish Cypriots themselves.
Isolated is not the Turkish Cypriot community in the north, but the state, the so-called statelet, which is under the patronage of Turkey.
Ahmet Javit, a writer-researcher, has studied the history of Cyprus and has recorded his knowledge and positions in the 16 books he has published. His opinions are expressed lucidly and clearly, despite the fact that, as he says, this bothers the occupation forces.
Turkey invaded Cyprus, and since then our island, 37% of the island, is under Turkish occupation. A lot of settlers from mainland Turkey were transported or settled in the northern part, and now the Turkish Cypriots form a minority in the northern part of Cyprus.
The occupation, the inadequate economic system based almost entirely on the intervention of the so-called state and its dependence on Turkey, And of course the political instability as regards a solution to the Cyprus issue are the real reasons for the alleged isolation. In April 2003, the Turkish occupation forces opened the roadblocks and the movement of Greek and Turkish Cypriots to and from the occupied areas was allowed, albeit with many restrictions. The first visits involved a huge number of people and were due to the Greek Cypriots' need to see their land and homes after almost 30 years. Turkey and the occupation regime are striving to exploit in every possible way the results of the April 2004 referendum on the pretext of seeking to lift the alleged Turkish Cypriot isolation. The Greek Cypriots rejected the Annan plan not because they do not want a solution of the Cyprus issue, but because they judged that the specific plan did not ensure the reunification of the island. Cyprus became a full member of the European Union on May 1st, 2004. Citizens of the Republic of Cyprus can now travel, work and reside freely in all other countries of Europe. The Turkish Cypriots promptly made use of these benefits. The Republic of Cyprus recognizes Turkish Cypriots as citizens and for this reason grants them both passports and all other official documents. More than 90% of the Turkish Cypriots have to date obtained passports and identity cards of the Republic of Cyprus. This enables them to move freely, work and, should they so wish, set up residence anywhere within European Union territory. It further enables them to enjoy all benefits extended to EU citizens, to pursue university studies both in Cyprus and in other European countries, and to enjoy diplomatic protection in other countries. Thousands of Turkish Cypriots have chosen to work in the free areas of the Republic, where the conditions, wages and pensions are better. And of course this has significantly increased the per capita income in the occupied areas.
Bu tarafın yani şimdi günlük olarak kazancımız bizim taraftakinden daha iyiydi. Bir de nedir? Bu da işlediğimiz herhangi bir hakkımız yemez şeyi yoktu. İşlediğimizin karşılığını tamamen bir araya alırız. Başka bir şey yok.
Most work in the construction sector, but a large number is also employed in other sectors, and naturally they avail themselves of all their rights as citizens of the Republic of Cyprus. They have their share in the island's social security system and in all social programs and services offered by the state. Within just the first 2 years since the opening of the roadblocks, the Republic of Cyprus has extended to Turkish Cypriots allowances and benefits exceeding 32 million euros. Even the Turkish Cypriots themselves concede that their alleged isolation is a result of the invasion and the continuing occupation. Turkish Cypriot journalist Şener Levent dared call things by their proper name. In his newspaper Avrupa, published in the occupied areas, he would editorialize on a daily basis denouncing Turkey's policy on the Cyprus issue.